and welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where you can always come here first to quench your reality thirst, and where we put the tea in reality, her. I am Lana, your resident diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea, her. And if you got some tea, you know what to do. Hit me up. Your girl loves that. And today I'm drinking. Actually, I'm doing something creative today. Everybody's so creative.
I truly am obsessed with that woman. Tamara, I love her.
I love her.
Tamara, if you're watching, you never will be. But if you are,
you are amazing.
Icon. I watch every video with my roommate, and we just die laughing. And it's, oh my God. Everybody's so creative. Did you see the, okay, I'm so sorry to interrupt your intro. Did you see the one where they put the steak in the egg and then put in the mac and cheese powder and then put it in chocolate powder and then put it in a tortilla and then put it in like a frying pan with a bunch of oil?
It was different. Yeah.
It looks like one of those things that you would never think about doing because you won't.
You won't because it's different, and
right.
It looks like it's not supposed to go together.
It looks like something that you shouldn't be putting together, but you are.
You are doing.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
I love her so much. She's
obsessed.
Yes. Oh, okay. If you ever watch, please come on the cup just to talk. We could talk.
Oh my God, I would cry. I would cry.
Love her. But yeah, I'm being very creative today because I'm drinking a Capri Sun. A Capri Sun, yes. Kennedy left it and it's mine. Well, I bought it for Kennedy and it's mine.
Sure.
But I'm drinking it in my cup mug because why not drink it out your cup mug?
Link below.
And yeah, all of that. LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com. All the cool kids have one, and the cool kids are getting one.
I was gonna bring it up. I finally ordered mine.
Yep. It will be in production on Tuesday.
Yay! Thank goodness.
Yep. The cup. You know what to do. Get it, hit it, love it, and yeah.
Ooh. And I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. Yay. I'm not being creative whatsoever. I'm drinking water because hydration is important. But yeah, I honestly didn't think about grabbing anything else and actually taking off the headphones. Why? Because they hurt my ears.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, cool.
That's that.
We're just talking about Big Brother Canada today in the middle of the week. Why are we doing it? Because it was a fatal feast today. It was a fatal feast when it happened.
The fatal feast happened.
Yeah, and
spoiler, it was an instant eviction.
Instant eviction.
That's
because that's what fatal feasts are about. Because
it was the least instant eviction that they've ever.
I agree. I was like, interesting that this is where we're going to go with this.
Everybody's so creative.
Honestly. It was just the most interesting way to do things. But as we know, we left off with our queen, Kuzi.
Oh.
Not both of us doing it.
I got it. Don't worry. I've got the buttons today.
Yep.
Kuzi!
It's HOH. That's where we left off.
And it didn't even fucking matter. Now here's okay, hold on. Where's my hold on just a second. Where is it?
You find it and you keep mine ready.
Okay, because why even do an HOH? Why even have it? Like, I genuinely do not understand the point of doing an HOH comp when presumably the next day you're going to do an instant eviction and then reset the week. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. You should have just said, oh, we're doing the HOH later, and then feign that the fatal feast is going to be the HOH, and then, oh my God, it's not. I guess they needed someone to be the start of the safety chain. We'll talk about it. But still, I'm just like, you easily could have just done another competition right before the Fatal Feast. And that chooses, like, the winner of that starts the safety chain. I mean, obviously, I'm very thrilled that the safety chain happened the way it did. Don't get me wrong. I'm very thrilled about that. However, I'm frustrated because now we'll talk about it. Kuzi has HOH for a day and a half, and then the week resets. And at the time that we're filming this, we already know who the new HOH is. We know Noms, we know Vito, we know who's going home, basically. We'll talk about it at the end. But I don't know. I was frustrated with this.
Do you have mine ready?
Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second. I should really always just have it ready, but go ahead.
Here we go. The fact, and yes, I am going to say some things that people might not feel like was necessary, but I'm going to say it anyway. The fact that Queen Kuzi, the first Black woman to win, well, not the first, one of the few Black women to win 2 HOHs in Big Brother Country, because Spicy V did it as well.
Oh, yes.
And so,
didn't Brittany also?
Who's Brittany?
Oh, you have not watched BBCAN 3, have you?
No, but I think she have.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I'm so sorry to interrupt, Grant. You need to watch for the icon, legend, and the moment that is Brittany Blair, newly indoctrinated ET Canada interviewer, Brittany Blair. Icon, legend, the moment, and my number 1 draft pick for All Stars. I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Lana.
But yes, I do think she did too, because I remember seeing the post where but I, like I said, not the first, but very few Black women have won 2 HOHs in this competition, and she has done it, and we give her the crap HOH, which is a day and a half. What was the point of her even talking to people and talking about noms? Like, y'all could have blew her game up in her face if she would have just. What if she told the people who she was nominating that they were going to be nominated? Like, what if she did that because she's like, I have to be an honest HOH and let people know what was going on? And what if she did that and then all of a sudden just to say, nah, you're not HOH anymore, and her game is completely blown up. It's crazy. What you said earlier about how they could have went about doing it was the perfect way to do it. Make a competition for whoever starts the chain, but don't do the HOH. Give somebody the HOH power just for them to say, we're gonna do this thing, instantly evict somebody, and now your reign is over. You're done. Like, she couldn't even compete in the next HOH. Like, what? That is ridiculous.
And neither could Ty. I mean, obviously I'm fine that Ty didn't win, but like, it just feels incredibly unfair that Ty had no shot of being the start of this chain either. And I mean, for all fairness sake, I don't like Ty, and I'm glad he didn't start the chain, but imagine if it was Daniel or Anika or Kuzi or Santina or like someone else. Genuinely, honestly, it just feels unfair that Ty had no shot to get that either.
Exactly.
And honestly, if they had just said, instead of this being an HOH comp, it's going to be a like safety comp, I don't know how they could have spun it, but if they had just said it's not an HOH
or a reward challenge, like give them something. Like, say this is a reward comp, and give them something from winners. Give them some outfits or all y'all sponsors, HelloFresh or Wendy's or Circle K.
Make it a comp for Wendy's points.
Whatever y'all want to give them something. Right. Just like, this is just because this is gonna be a different week. But yeah, you can take my. I'm done ranting. But yeah, crazy. It's crazy, and they should have definitely done better than that.
Yeah, I completely agree. But that's not what happened, Lana. It's not what happened at all.
No.
So we start the episode, and so I heard about this on the dailies, the whole puzzle situation. And I was waiting to see what it looked like on the feeds or on the show, because on the digital, I'm so used to saying feeds, because on the digital daily, all we got to see was the girly pops being angry about the situation. I was like, okay, I want to see what the full thing looks like before I pass any sort of like judgment. No. Well, hold on. I'm back because I have to say this whole situation. So Daniel finds puzzle pieces, goes in the library, finds puzzle pieces, and so it's meant to be a task for the whole house. And instead, this puzzle solving, getting the clue, getting the letter, whatever, for the fatal feast was meant to be a house-wide thing. And instead, the crown ends up gatekeeping the whole situation, saying that they're not going to let anybody in. Hope is watching the door while Daniel and Anika decide they're going to go, like, they're going to try to find puzzle pieces. And then somehow Santina gets in, and then somehow they let Ty in, and then obviously they're going to let Kuzi in. And then they gatekeep it from the girly pops. It doesn't matter for me personally what you think of the girly pops. I found this entire situation incredibly disrespectful. And I understand their motives, and I get it, and I understand if you think it's a secret power, you want to grab it before everybody else does. And I do understand that. However, I think this situation was incredibly disrespectful to the girly pops. And I did not like the way that Daniel or Anika looked in this situation, or Hope for that matter, honestly. I didn't like the way any of them looked in this scenario. I just thought it was incredibly disrespectful. And then the way that they went about apologizing afterwards, for me, felt very fake. And I know Daniel to not be that kind of person, so that shocked me a little bit more than everything else. And that's just how I feel. But it's a shitty situation. I understand it from the crown's perspective, but looking at the whole scenario, it's disrespectful on the part of, primarily for me, Daniel, Anika, and Hope.
Okay. This is where we disagree. Because honestly, I didn't find it that disrespectful. Okay. I found it because they did not realize, or they didn't know, that this was a thing that the whole house was supposed to find. The way Big Brother had it set up, it looked like it was supposed to be some kind of power. Daniel went into the library first, and if it wasn't for Nika following him and Hope following him, he would have did it himself. Because he, they thought it was the secret power of some sort, which if in any Big Brother situation, I would have done the same thing. I would have been like, look, let me go in here and find this thing by myself. And then if I do have allies and they happen to follow me, then yes, I'm going to let them in and we can find this thing together and we can. This was game. It had nothing to do with personal. This was nothing against the girly pops. This was nothing that they were like, oh, we don't like them. We're not going to let them in. This was a game. They were on the opposite sides of the house with each other. They're not running in the same circles. I mean, well, they weren't at the moment. And it was like, so this was a game thing. Now, blocking the door, I get it. It's like, okay, sure. But I don't think, I think after a while, it just got crazy for Hope to keep holding that door, especially when Ty was pushing. And and he had to let them in. Now you let them in, and they looking for it. The girly pops pushed for a minute, and then they stopped. They they just stopped after a while. They was like, I'm just mad. Like if they would have continued to push, Hope would have had no choice but to open that dang door. But they was like, oh, they gave up because they were like, they're not letting me in, so I'm mad now. And it's like, okay, then that's on you. they thought this was a sequel of Power. This was strictly game. It had nothing
Yeah.
to do with personal. It wasn't meant to be disrespectful. It wasn't meant to be, we just don't like you. This was game. And that's, I understand feeling left out and feeling like, oh, that really hurt my feelings. But you have to put your feelings aside when you're playing. This is Big Brother. This is not America's Next Top Best Friend. This is Big Brother. And they have to do things to be, to get an advantage in this game. So I don't think they were doing it, and they weren't doing it to be disrespectful. And I don't think that their apology was disingenuous or unsincere.
Okay.
I think they were very much like, okay, once they realized, oh, this was just an invitation for a feast for everybody, they were like, okay, well, this was everybody. We didn't need to cut them out. We're so sorry. We thought this was secret power, and this is the game. And so I get all sides. I sides. I understand why they did it. I understand why the girly pops felt a little, felt upset about it. You have a right to be upset, but you also have to take your feelings about being upset and realize this was a game thing. I can turn it around and put them up and be like, this was game. It has everything to do with what you did to me. You locked me out the room. I'm putting you up because it's a game. You played the game. I'm playing the game. But I don't think it was disrespectful or disgusting or made somebody feel bad or look bad in the eyes of the game. In the eyes of the game, everybody was just playing the game.
Sure.
In my opinion.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand. I understand and respect your opinion. I see where you're coming from with like their apologies. For me, it didn't feel as sincere, but that's just me. And that's just the way that I saw it and the way that I interpreted it. So I'm glad we finally disagree on something. That's fun.
I love that.
So yes, they end up solving the puzzle. And it is the invitation. Yeah, so it's the invitation to the feast. They don't say it's a fatal feast.
Nope, just a feast.
So I did love that it was like they solved the puzzle and then there's just like smoke coming out of the fireplace. I'm like, okay, Big Brother Canada with the dramatics as always. Love it.
The cinematography and everything.
Yeah. So before we get to the fatal feast, though, we see it kind of ruined the whole moment, but Anika and Daniel are talking and they're like, I think it's a safety chain. And you want to know why? Because Daniel is one of us. I knew in that moment he was like, a safety chain. Like
in his whole heart, he was back on sequester like this.
Literally.
He
was like, I have to deal with them.
Anybody who has played that game, I don't like talking about it too much, but anybody who has played that game knows what that feels like. When say something about a safety chain, your heart stop beating, your palms start sweating, you got beads of sweat dripping down the side of your face. Because you don't.
Well, okay, so it was even more so for me. I only ever did one safety chain. I never did all that well on sequester when I played, but I only ever did one safety chain, and I was the last person picked. It was me or someone else, and I was this close to being eliminated. And so the moment where you're just like, no, like you have to save me, like save me is just so nerve-wracking for an online game. I can only imagine what it's like if you're competing for, I'm sorry, $100,000 plus a bunch of other prizes.
Yeah.
So like, just,
yes. I have been in several safety chains, and even though I will say, and this is not a brag, a humble brag, or nothing, I've never been at the bottom of many safety chains. In that game, I was safety chained out of one game in my entire life, and it was gross. And it was the very first round. It was kind of sickening. It was.
If you count, okay, no, I wouldn't count it. I was gonna say, I got eliminated first in a penthouse style thing where it's like not a safety chain, but it's like a ranking. That's I was eliminated in that situation, but yeah. So they realize what it is. It's 100% correct. The Fatal Feast setup, I have to say, some of the best staging and production value that I've seen in a very long time on Big Brother Canada. What keeps this franchise my favorite, despite not having live feeds this season, and I'm still mad. But what I will say is they always go all out with their themes. If there's a theme, everything is going to be themed, and everything is going to be so thought through. And I think that ultimately, honestly, is the lasting impact of Trevor Boris, who I found out no longer works for Big Brother Canada because he works on Canada's Drag Race.
Yeah.
So makes a lot of sense now that you think about it. But yeah, so the Fatal Feast happens, and there's a lot of candles, and it's dramatic, and it feels fatal. And Arissa comes on, and Arissa looking beautiful. Gorge
queen, never disappoints.
Yeah,
I will say yes. The production value of this entire thing was amazing. They looked fabulous. The setup was fabulous. It was just good. It was just good.
Yeah. So Arissa comes on and lets the house guests know that someone is going to be evicted that evening. And that there will be a chain of safety in order to decide who is safe. And the last 3 people left in the chain will have to compete in a safety competition. The winner of that safety competition obviously will be safe. And the final 2 people will be nominees, and one of them will be evicted. And we've seen safety chains now happen. Oh, I'm so sorry. Chain of safety.
Chain of safety.
Chain of safety. We've seen chains of safety now on 3 different Big Brother franchises. I still think my favorite one, just because it was so stupid, Mon Juan.
Oh, God.
I love that so much. And then it was on BB 23 or 24? 24. Wasn't it? Or was it? No, it was BBCAN 10. Wasn't it?
Yes, it was BBCAN 10 that they did it.
Yeah. For some reason, BBCAN 10 and BB 24 kind of all blend together for me. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was 10 because Summer was just talking about it on another podcast. Yeah. Shout out to the Reality Kings.
Yes.
But also, they did something like this in Big Brother Over the Top.
They did.
They did the poison or whatever.
Yeah. The poison apple, wasn't it?
No.
Or no, it was the... Yeah.
Somebody got the drink. They had to drink or something.
Wasn't that an HOH or something?
What was that? Yeah, I think
it was an HOH, I believe.
To get it was the HOH at that point.
Yeah. But the last person was safe with HOH. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Wait a minute. Ooh, maybe we should go back and watch OTT.
I would love to. I would do that.
I would love to as well.
I thought OTT was so good and so
OTT is one of my favorite modern US seasons, and I wish it got more recognition. So
they should have done more OTTs, like for
maybe in our I was gonna say in our Big Brother off season in the fall, but we'll have UK. We'll be in the fall. So
we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out at some point because I would love to. But yes, so we have the chain of safety. Kuzi as the HOH starts the chain of safety, which I was very thrilled to see.
I was happy about.
She picks Hope.
Makes sense.
I was a little taken aback, if I'm being honest. Anika.
Oh no, I knew she was gonna pick Hope because of that conversation that Daniel and Anika also had earlier.
Mhm.
Because Hope letting Santina in was an issue for them, by the way.
Yeah.
They were like, "Why did you let Santina in?" And he was like, "I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I don't know. It was just I don't know. It's nothing fishy. I don't know." And so they thought Hope, if he had the chance, if he was the last out of the crown to be picked, he would pick Santina.
Oh, geez.
And so they wanted to make sure that
Yeah.
Hope had to pick someone in the crown. And so
Yeah.
that's why Hope got that second pick. And she knew he would pick Anika or Daniel.
Yeah. Which he does. He picks Anika.
Mm-hmm.
Anika, to nobody's surprise whatsoever, picks Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
And then Daniel picks Shania.
Mm-hmm.
Which I felt like was a smart idea, given the fact that I don't think I don't think they've shown this on the show.
The digital dailies, maybe.
So I'm gonna do a very, very quick. It'll be done by the 27-minute mark of this video. So, but there are talks now about, and I don't know how serious this will be, but there are talks now about a 4-person alliance forming between
The girl pops and Daniel.
well, not all the girly pops. It's Claudia, Shania, Daniel, and Anika.
Oh.
And so the 4 of them want to get together now and target Kuzi, Ty, and Renee. But we'll talk about it. Hey, look, perfect timing. I told you it would be under 30 seconds, and guess what? It was. So Daniel picks Shania for reasons, some of which I just explained. Shania then has the last pick in the chain and picks Claudia, to nobody's surprise. So our final 3 in the safety chain are Santina, Renee, and Ty. Nobody's surprised by that. Truthfully, nobody's surprised by that. So the 3 of them then have to compete in the safety competition, which I think has the single best title of a comp so far this season, Too Hot to Candle. It's referential, it's current, it's dumb, and I love it.
It made sense to what they were doing.
So you have to place 40 candles on a spinning tiered candelabra. So you have to go bottom up. You have to spin it in order to get all of the sides. And so, like, there's a very high chance that they will fall off, which happened
a lot.
And I think, to nobody's surprise, Ty wins the comp by like 5 minutes or something. So it was individually timed. They couldn't watch the other people do it. Ty's time was 7 minutes, 17 seconds.
Yep.
And the other 2 ladies were around like 12, 13, 14, something like that.
It was 10 minutes for Santina and 11 minutes for Renee.
Well, Renee coming last in a comp? What? She didn't come last in that endurance comp, though. So good for her.
Pretends to be shocked.
Well, you know. So Ty wins the safety competition, meaning that our noms are Santina and Renee. They only had half an hour to campaign.
Yep.
Which was wild. So
it was insane. And it was crazy because, like, I think at that moment, Santina knew what was going on. She was trying, but she tried everything she could possibly.
She talked to every single person, even the girly pops.
Yeah.
And
it made sense. But okay. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute. But yeah, she campaigned so hard and she was like, look, this is what it is. she told the girly pops, I don't even know what I can offer you, but I will offer you anything. I know she is your friend. I know she is your teammate. Y'all working together, but this is an individual game. You have to think about that. She's like, I don't know what to offer. She went to the Crown and was like, listen, this is where I felt like Santina was making the most sense. And I was like, if y'all don't see it, I just don't get it. Yeah. She was like, look, she has a team already behind her. I have no one. I am asking you to be my team today, and I will pledge my loyalty to you. That is an extra number for you. I will compete and make sure it's never you. I was like,
I don't. So, okay. I want to touch on that. But first, we get the eviction speeches. Santina pretty much knows she's going, and she does unanimously. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why the Crown wouldn't take advantage of this moment to weaken the other side of the house to you, right? And get someone who you know can win competitions.
I don't understand it. I was blown
I get it from a threat perspective. Santina is a big threat, and if you let her go too far into the game, she could win out. And I understand that perspective, that you want to get her out and not have to deal with her any further. I just think it was a little bit too early for the Crown to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was very premature.
Because now that I've seen what the HOH comp was, I haven't watched the episode that aired tonight with the new HOH comp, but knowing what the HOH comp was, I think Santina stood a really good shot. I really do think Santina stood a really good shot and could have taken the shot at Ty and the girly pops. And this week would be going a little bit different than it's going to end up being. But we do lose Santina. I'm really sad to see Santina go.
I'm very sad.
We both 180'd on Santina this season. I really was not a fan of hers. And slowly but surely, her gameplay, her confessionals, she is someone that when they choose to do a second chance or an all-star or whatever, I really, truly do hope that they consider Santina. Because I think she showed her strategic prowess. And I think, honestly, on any other season, did she make mistakes? Absolutely, she did. Absolutely. But I think she showed this, I would say maybe second chances because of those mistakes that she made earlier in the game, aligning with the guys. I think she really could have been the glue that would have made an all-women's alliance happen. I think had she been in it,
especially since she was the first HOH, she could have made it happen.
Exactly. She could have rounded up the girly pops, Anika, and Kuzi, and the 6 of them could have been running this game. I really, truly think that could have happened. And she made a fatal error, and the fatal feast took her out because of it. So
yep.
I'm sad to see Santina go, but she is juror number 3. And that was this episode. Do you want to quickly do some Digital Daily spoiler? Full transparency, we're filming this on Wednesday, so the Wednesday episode has happened, and I've seen bits and pieces at least. But we're going to dive into some spoilers. So if you do not want any spoilers, thank you so much for joining us. Subscribe, like, share, get your merch down below. Follow us, all the things. You know the things. Goodbye now. Bye. So long. Farewell. Okay, so Digital Daily spoilers. So we know that the HOH comp was this like poison comp, which actually looks really cool. I'm excited to watch the episode and talk about it. But basically it's like, you know that challenge on YouTube where like you put 2 identical drinks in front of 2 people, but one of them is like nasty, and you have to like you're not supposed to show your facial expression, and you have to guess who had like the gross drink. That's what the comp was.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so it was very much so like that. So if you, what's it called? If it's called Pick Your Poison. So there were rounds of shots. One of them was like bad tasting, and you had to guess who had the bad flavored one. And if everybody guessed wrong, then the person with the bad flavored drink picks who was eliminated. But if someone sussed it out, they were eliminated.
Okay.
So it ended up coming down to Shania, Claudia, and Daniel, because Kuzi couldn't compete,
of course,
which I think is frustrating.
The
final two ended up being Shania and Claudia.
Ugh, good Lord.
Because Shania fooled Claudia and Daniel and eliminated Daniel, obviously. So Claudia won the HOH, which we knew, because even though they hadn't aired the Fatal Feast, the digital dailies kept going, which I thought was wild. So we knew on like Sunday, Santina had been evicted because she just wasn't in the house. She wasn't on the daily. She wasn't there. Yeah. So Claudia was the new HOH. She nominated Hope and Ty. At the time, I was thrilled. Truly thrilled. Excitedly thrilled. The veto happened.
Yep. And Ty won. And Ty's back again with his 9 lives.
Daniel! At this point, I'm going to be really honest. If Ty wins the season, I'm going to be a little upset, but I'm not going to be mad.
It will be deserved because this 100%. Man had several opportunities to get off, to go home, and people saved him, and they put him on the block, and he got himself off. He won HOHs, he won vetoes, he's had vetoes used on him, and it's just insane.
He has the perfect resume right now. And
he has the best resume over everybody.
I couldn't agree more. I think for me right now, it's Ty and Kuzi.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I think Daniel.
Yeah.
I would put in that third spot. I probably would have put Santina.
Yeah, Santina probably.
Before the Fatal Feast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would put Daniel in that third spot now. But yes, so Ty wins the veto. Obviously, he took himself off the block, and now Claudia's in a bit of a difficult situation. She's not going to put up her girly pops.
Of course not.
I thought she may have put up Renee, because her and Shania are now trying to shift themselves away from Renee, and kind of like I was saying earlier in the episode, kind of trying to shift a little bit more towards working with Daniel and Anika, which I think would be an interesting group. Mind you, that means that Kuzi is included, so I'm not a fan of that personally, but I understand why they would do that in order to target her. So it pretty much came down to Anika, Kuzi, and Daniel. And a lot of, from what I understand, from the bits I've seen of dailies, Claudia was like, well, Anika was already on the block. And week 1.
Anika was on the block week 1?
Anika was on the block week 1.
Wow. Okay. Sure.
It was she had the veto used on her.
That's right.
And that it was the back door of John Michael.
Yep, Ty took her off. Yep.
So, because Ty has what now? 5 comp wins? 4?
Ty has won that. He won
8
HOH. He's won another veto. 3?
2 vetoes, an HOH, and the safety comp.
2 vetoes, HOH, and I say 4.
4
comp wins.
I'm not going to be all that upset if Ty wins. I'm going to be mad, but I'm not going to be upset.
I'm not, Game's perspective, I'm like, he played the game. He won
Ty
the
the game player, I will respect it.
player,
Ty the person on this show?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Ty the person is trash. Ty the game player is playing the game.
Yeah. So it ultimately came down to, it was kind of a twofold decision on who would be the replacement nom. Anika was already on the block, so Claudia chose not to nominate her, which I respect. And Daniel passed the safety in the Fatal Feast chain of safety to Shania, which kept Claudia safe. So that was Claudia's reasoning. Kuzi also kind of asked, like, didn't ask to go up, but was like, if I go up, I'm not upset about it. So the veto ceremony happened, I believe, Monday or Tuesday, something like that. Ty took himself off. Claudia put Kuzi up. So it is currently Hope versus Kuzi on the block. And despite, as a game player, despite my, like, what I think would happen, Hope pretty much knows he's going home. And it will likely be a unanimous vote for Hope to leave this week.
Now, I did see some rumors that a final 2 deal has been struck between Kuzi and Ty.
Yes.
And I wasn't sure if that was a real thing or if that was a rumored thing.
It was a discussion that, to my knowledge, has happened. Whether Kuzi is serious about it, we have to wait to see for either Wednesday or Thursday's episode. So that we don't know, but yes, that conversation has happened.
Okay.
Good. So
are we finished talking about this? Because I have a rant that I have to go on
before we
leave.
Let me change it over. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Here's my rant. Because I got on to the socials very late in the evening today. I was working and things, and so I didn't check my socials. So very late in the evening. And what I saw was very disgusting. And I was very annoyed. For 2 reasons. Number 1, Daniel C is a person that I know. That I am friends with, that I respect in this game, in games and in life. He's a very good person.
He's a very, very good person.
He's a very good person. He's a nice person. And he is very kind. And so when I get on my socials, and one of the first things I see is some random person not just disrespecting him because they don't like his gameplay, which if you don't like how he's playing the game, fine. I can respect your
opinion. Don't like the way he's playing the game sometimes. I don't
really care about that. Sometimes, like I said, I don't really care if, sometimes I don't agree with the moves he made, but that's not going to change my feelings for him because he's playing the game the best way that he sees fit for him. And I respect that. But what I don't respect is people going on social media and body shaming and fat shaming someone over an appearance on a television show. These are real people. We have to remember that these are real people, and they will come out of that house and they'll read these things, and some random person who don't know anything about them can say something horrible and can ruin their entire mood. You don't know how people take things. They can have thousands and thousands of positive things, and it's that one horrible negative comment that sends them into a spiral. We have to be better people. We have to do better because people are people. It doesn't matter if you like them or not. I didn't particularly like Zach in this show. And I called him a petulant child because of his game moves. But I don't know this man personally. And I will never talk about him outside of the game, talking about how he looked or how he's just an ugly person and fat. And that's gross.
Yeah.
That's gross. You respect people on the game and you can talk about how they play the game. You don't have to like it, but to go after somebody's appearance is disgusting and it's gross. And I refuse to let this moment pass without saying and defending him. Daniel is my friend and I appreciate him, and he is a lovely human being. It doesn't matter what the size, the weight of him or any other person on that show. These are people. And that is just rude and disgusting. And I that was just something that bothered me. Like that was the first thing I saw when I clicked on Twitter. Somebody making a stupid video about him and who nobody even asked you. If you don't like the way he looks, that's whatever. But nobody asked your opinion. You're gross. I will not say your name because you do not deserve any time or any airtime for me. But I will say this and I'm done with you. You're a disgusting person. You should check yourself. Because you talking about somebody who you don't know, think about all the people who know you. Think about all the people and what they think about you. You ain't perfect 10 dime, I'm sure. I don't know who you are. It doesn't even matter. But you can be the most beautiful person in the world. But that comment and that attitude made you the ugliest person in the world. With just that. Your mouth is making you ugly. Do better. Do better.
Yep. I'm glad you brought it up. You said everything I was going to. And just at the end of the day, and this goes for all reality TV, like we come on here to talk about it because we like talking about the shows and we like talking about the game. And what we should be doing here is talking about the game, not talking about who these people are, unless they're horrible people. And in that case, talk about how they're horrible people in real life, if that's the case. But Daniel's not that kind of person. He's a lovely human who is playing this game, living his dream, as are a lot, I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of these people that play Big Brother, that play Survivor, that go on Drag Race, that go on Top Chef, that go on Amazing Race, that go on Traders, Mole, Race to Survive Alaska. I don't know why that popped in my head, but all these shows, like these people are experiencing like a once in a lifetime thing. And then to have them come out and read things like this, it's disgusting. And you said everything that I could have ever said about it, Lana. But with that being said, we're going to end on a slightly more positive note. Daniel made, what is it, 7th place? 8th place? Daniel made 8th place, and you're sitting probably alone in your bedroom, hate commenting. So who's really the more successful person here?
And Big Brother apparently didn't care about his weight. Why do you?
Exactly. So, on that note, that was the Fatal Feast. We will be back with our normal weekly recap. We'll be recapping the whole week in 2 episodes. So, we will be diving into that later this week. We will have another eviction. And yeah, so thank you so much for joining us for yet another episode of The Cup. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe, share, do all the things, because you know all the things to do, because you're on YouTube and you probably watch a lot of YouTube. Go do the things. You know what they are. And with that, Lana, cheers.
Cheers to you.
I didn't have the outro up immediately, but goodbye.
Bye.
I was like, I'm struggling.
Somebody's always watching.
Someone is always watching. And sometimes it's Arissa Cox.